Morning, welcome again to Morning Devotions, and thank you so much for our time together. I don't even know where to begin today. The book of Romans is absolutely over the moon, and you know how I love Romans. But I want us to go back to a young king by the name of Joash today. I sometimes call him the illustration of church kids, people who have been raised their entire life in the church, but then one day, influence changes. We find a story beginning over in chapter 22 and then going through chapter 23, 24, and part of chapter 25. In chapter 22, we find that as a baby, he's taken to live in the temple for fear of his life and raised by Joadiah, the priest. Athaliah was queen at the time, and she wanted to kill him so that she could consolidate her rule. At the age of 7, he's made king. And Joadiah acts as his father, raises him, helps him get married, guides him in the things of God, and Joash becomes a great king. He restores the temple of God. He restores the Levitical priesthood. He leads the people of God back to God. But then in chapter 24, verse 17, the scripture says, after the death of Joadiah, and the officials of Judah came and paid homage to the king, and he listened to them. From that point forward, everything went down. From that point forward, they abandoned the temple, began to worship idols. They refused to listen to the prophets. In fact, Joash even killed Joadiah's son, the prophet Zechariah. Now you look at this and you realize when influences in our life change, life changes. Now young people, please listen to me. Sometimes when you go off to college, you've been raised in a Christian home your whole life. Sometimes you get some new friends in your life and they sound so spiritual and they sound so right and they sound so cool. But I ask you the question, what path are they putting you on? Joadiah kept Joash on the path to righteousness. These officials that he began to listen to started him on a path of pain and destruction. Sometimes you have to ask yourself, if I join these people on the path, what is the ultimate destination they're going to take me to? Forget what people sound like. Forget how smooth talking they are. Forget how spiritual they sound. Do people of influence point you toward the Bible and the things of God, or do they draw you to themselves and to what they think? That's the big difference in life. I want to challenge you today. Be careful about changing people of influence in your life. Be careful of the transitions in life. When a godly father dies, a godly mother dies, you move to a different city and you need a new church, and all of a sudden you wind up out of church. Be careful in the times of transition. In the times of transition, you need to return to the Word more than ever before and stay to the paths of righteousness. Remember, when influence changes, life changes.